So this was supposed to be an exercise in social innovation. And this was, it sort of worked and sort of didn't. Because what was supposed to happen was that the people from the balcony had a plan of a way that they were going to interact with you, and they were going to help you as a group slowly walk out the door. But what happened? Seriously? Yes. But what ended up...
We're doing our masses here.
What ended up happening... What ended up happening was that Charles Van Lingen was a social innovator of his own. And Chuck started a group that went over there. And what started to happen as you went that way, Charles, then a couple people followed you, and there started to be a bit of a nucleus over there, right? And I'm guessing that if I hadn't told Daryl and Sheila head out the door, that eventually everybody would have made their way over there. Do you think that's true?
No.
No? What do you think would happen?
We're like, why
They would have come back? Why are they over there?
We're going to follow the rules, and the rules are here.
Okay.
You said stay in the
All
middle.
right. Okay, have a seat.
Yeah, then we could conform.
The point, because it's important that there be a point, right? Maybe. The point is, we have different perspectives from the dance floor and from the balcony. We bring information from the dance floor to the balcony and from the balcony to the dance floor. And we can enter into the dance floor as balcony people with things we've learned from the balcony and create social innovation, right? Now, our experiment didn't work exactly because we had a group morph that way at first instead of that way, but be that as it may. We're going to do a little bit of seat work together at our tables. If you're at a table that's not heavily populated, I encourage you to maybe go to another table so that you're at a more heavily populated table, especially one that's a good mix of folks from Maranatha and River City together. And I want you to just spend about 10 minutes discussing the questions on getting on the balcony. All right? Spend about 10 minutes talking about those, and then we're going to move into thinking politically. Story, you were invited a couple places to share stories, maybe ways that Jesus shows that he goes back and forth from the balcony to the dance floor. Anybody have something from their table that they feel like would be helpful to the whole group? Any stories of which stories of Jesus came out?
Like all of them.
All of them.
My first one was like the prostitute and the stoning of the prostitute.
The stoning of the prostitute. Okay.
That's my first thought.
Yeah, you was able to see the big picture as well. Okay. Any others?
Wedding in Canaan.
The wedding of Cana. Big picture, small picture. Good. On the dance floor. There was probably literally a dance floor there. Okay. Good. Any stories that came out at your table about, just maybe horror stories about where somebody completely missed the song beneath the words, or other stories? What sorts of things stop you from finding out where people are at? Any observations that were made at your tables that would be helpful for the rest of the room? If not, that's okay. We can keep on moving. Go ahead.
I was just reflecting on the technical and the adaptive, and that the technical changes seem to be stuff that you can pull off even on the dance floor at times. But if you're talking adaptive requires that balcony perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And adaptive isn't necessarily something that you can really work out in the movement. It takes that time of perspective gaining and reflection to really make it last.
Right. Because to want to endure through an adaptive change, you need the balcony perspective. Otherwise, you'll be fatigued in making that change. Okay, go ahead.
just when I was reading this book too, trying to relate it to a church as opposed
Good.
to a business center.
Yeah,
And I think when you have a large body of people who are milling around that dance floor, they are your congregation, they are not all in leadership, so they don't always know what leadership is doing.
right.
Right, so then leadership might come down off the balcony and say, hey, you guys, we're gonna go this way, and they go, what are you talking about? Right, so for leadership to come in and be in and around and among the people,
Yeah,
to be on the dance floor, but to hear them and to talk to them, and then the people understand that balcony perspective that is.
Yep.
Right, so.
Yep.
Different.
Good,
Then
good.
different than a business where they just say, we're going this way,
Right,
because that's where the money is, right?
Right.
It's a little bit different.
good, good. Yeah,
When I worked for Home Fashion Market and Furniture Direct, they had gone bankrupt and they had sold a lot of furniture to people and taken down payments for all that furniture.
mm,
And there were lots and lots and lots of people who were not getting their furniture and were not getting their money back. And my job as management was to tell those people that news
wow,
and have to be very cold while doing it because there was no way around it. There was no money
right,
and there was no furniture, and I knew that. And so the compassionate giving, anybody who knows me here knows that I'm just a big heart walking around. I had to be really harsh and I had to be really mean
wow,
to these people to say just over and over again, like every half hour of every day, over and over again, to different people, that they weren't getting their money back.
right,
And part of me wanted to give them the furniture from the store. I wanted to like send them home with it. But the pressures from up there,
Mhm.
hired management, made it so that I seemed like the coldest, most horrible person on the planet.
Mm.
And that affected my jobs elsewhere in that industry because those same people were coming to other stores and having to buy new furniture and seeing me and going, oh, no, we're not buying here,
wow,
right? So
Wow.
they've got that taste in their mouth, that judgment that that's the girl that told me I wasn't going to get my money. I'm not buying it here
Right.
either. So that goes really deep into what we were reading about in
yeah,
there.
yeah. And that goes into the quote about authority figures, right? That it wasn't your personality that was coming through there, it was all of the pressures on
So
you.
when I took
right?
over Lazy Boy, it was the same thing.
Yeah,
And I just had to sit down with those people and reassure them. And a lot of them didn't believe me. They didn't buy
Right.
furniture from me. So
Right.
it was hard.
wow. Good. Back to what Tammy said. Tammy talked about the importance of knowing and of communicating. And the next chapter starts out, Think Politically, starts out with one of the distinguishing qualities of successful people who lead in any field is the emphasis they place on personal relationships. You need to be in communication with and talking with the people that you're leading. They need to know you, you need to know them, and so on. We're going to talk about that now. And it's called Think Politically. And frankly, I don't like the name of the title, because when I think politically, it just sort of sounds dirty to me. Anybody else have that sort of impulse when they picked up the chapter? Yeah? Okay. Because when I think politically, I think of sort of underhanded moves and backroom politics and stuff like that. But Think Politically is just think about all of the people. Think about your effect on them and what they need for you to be able to help lead them. Anybody have books, great books that they've never read? I've got some great books that I've never read, and one of them is this one here. My mentor in Grand Rapids, he was a pastor. He was also the teacher of church administration at the seminary. And I asked him at one point, I said, Jerry, what's the best book that I can read on church administration? And he said, oh, get Diffusion of Innovations by Everett Rogers. So I went straight to the bookstore, bought the book, started reading it, and I thought, whoa, this is not something I like. It was just so technical, so I've never read it. It's 500 pages long. The last 100 pages are the bibliography of the book. I mean, it's just one of these really thick, technical books. But it's boiled down for you to a 3-minute video. And this, I wish Jerry would have said, get this 3-minute video, but we didn't have YouTube back then. So we're going to watch this 3-minute video, I think.